So just if you're looking at the Procreate map, did I add all the crystals? Yeah, I think all the new crystals are in here too. Yeah, they are. So if you're looking at the Procreate map, there's 6 outposts in the game. The reason I labeled them 1 through 6 is there's 6, and the reason the one in the middle is green, it's because it's different than all the other outposts. The other 5 on the exterior actually are worth 1 point. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all worth 1 point. The one in the middle, the central outpost, that's worth 2 points. So if you had all 6 outposts, you'd have 7 outpost points altogether. And the idea of what you're trying to do is have 4 or more outpost points while you're playing the whole game in the final harvest part of the map. So the trick is if you have 4 or more outposts, no matter what combination of 4 you have, you're always winning at least that section of final harvest. You're always constantly getting your score going up. And that's the key to win that mode. It used to be way more true in the older version than it is now, but it still gives you, like, if you're doing that, you're pushing your win rate to like 80%, 90% guaranteed win. If you're not controlling 4 or more outposts or controlling the outposts at the end, then you're just going to say, like, I'm going to truck all the points I can to score and win. That's literally another way to do it. Like, what happened is if I beat the core behemoth and I grab 12 crystals and I look at my score, it says 32, I'm going to win. If I can score those crystals, I'm going to win. The game right before this one, I had 11 crystals. I got killed. Somebody ran 4 of them, another person was running 6. And then I killed the guy with 4. I hunted the guy down with 6. I found 1 crystal along the way, and then I ran that in. We were at 32,000 something. When I ran it in, we won. It was over more than, like, what do you call it, than 32,500. So that's the easiest way to win the game. It's just trying to reach 35,000. But controlling outposts, that's the most important thing. Let me see if I still have my... Okay, so there's 2 ways you can have outpost control, and I call them outer advantage and center advantage. So outer advantage is holding... what do you call it? 4 or more outposts on the outside. So if you're holding 2, 3, 4, and 6, you're winning Eventide. If you're holding 4, 2, 3, and 5, you're also winning Eventide. So that's one of the easiest ways to have. And why is one of the central advantage? Central advantage. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, so center advantage is gone. So outer advantage, it's basically the 5 outer outposts. If you can control those 5 outer outposts, one of 4 of those 5, you're winning Eventide. So the other the other version of advantages that you can have is something called center advantage. So I'm going to close this and put center advantage on, and put that on. So the way center advantage works is the middle and any 2 other outposts in the game. In this case, the center advantage is being done with 4 and 6. But any combination of the center and any other 2 outposts is center advantage. You literally have 4 points and you're still winning the Eventide, where your score is going up because you have more outposts. You have 4 outpost points in this way. There's 2 ways to have 4 outpost points, and while this seems easy, it's easier to lose also. Like, if you lose the center, you need to get 2 more outposts or the center again to have this working again. But if you're running outer advantage, where you have 4 outposts, if you get the center, now you have 5 points. If somebody takes away one of the outposts, you still have 4 points. So all you just keep working on is trying to get another outpost. So if then you lose the center, all you have to do is get 1 more outpost again, and then you'll be back to 4. So the idea is 4 or more outposts is the most important concept in Final Harvest if you're playing the Outpost game. So that's the most important thing that you got to remember. Um, the events, if you're looking at the events in there, let me see if I can find the events for you guys. Because they've changed the order of the events. Now the event starts with Wild Surge. Let me get rid of the cardinal. Let me get rid of the numbers. Let's get rid of the outpost. So the way the event works right now is, so this was Wild Surge. There used to be, these are all the different things that they used to have an explanation in the game that told you what each point did. But what I keep wondering is why they don't have it like before you play Eventide. Well, the Wild Surge, and then they show you a little in-game thing of Wild Surge going on, or Wild Surge, it pops up, and then there's a voiceover explaining the Wild Surge thing. They could do it all in game, because I know they said like putting in video into the game would make the game size bigger, or even linking to YouTube or something like that might be a little bit more difficult, because like to get the codexes and stuff like that, it can be expensive. So what I'm just saying is, why not just say have these pop up and explain each one? Because Wild Surge is, you start the event, an outpost will surge, catalytic power. And all the vision in the game is reduced to a big circle. Everything else becomes dark. Your speed is increased, and your vision sucks. But you're moving at maybe 50% faster than normal in that mode. And the whole idea is you just have to control an outpost until the time runs off. If the other team has control of it, they win. If you have control of it, you win. Back in the day, there used to be a tie, but it's impossible to get a tie now in this new version. And the way the mode works too, in Wild Surge only happens in 2 spots right now in the whole game. It used to happen on any of the, it used to be able to happen on any of the outposts, but in the new normal, it only happens in Outpost 1 and Outpost 2. And it has to do with which one gets captured right before the event. So if you capture 1 second, or if you captured the middle one or central one first, second, that's the one that the surge is going to happen on. So it's whichever one gets captured second. So like, let's say if somebody captured the top, they captured the center, and then somebody flipped it to the opposing team, the Wild Surge is most likely happening on the top. But it only happens in 1 and 2 now. It used to happen all through all 6. Now it only happens through 1 and 2. Next one you're gonna see is, I'm actually doing the how to play Eventide, the new version of how to play Eventide on this new map. The next one's going to be Wild Moon, and the way Wild Moon works is during this event, it's just like Wild Surge. You lose your vision. You can't see really well in that. Where's the video? Whenever I go onto the video, it goes away. Same thing. Your vision becomes a little circle around you. Everything is dark. You move twice as fast. And players needs to capture falling stars, which is these giant crystals that are worth 200 points. You capture the crystal, you get 40 points. Your team gets 200. So it used to be 5. It's down to 3. So back in the day, we used to have to capture 5 of these things. Now you only have to capture 3 of them. And whoever captures 3 first wins. If they don't drop enough crystals and both sides have 2 at the end of it, or both sides had 1 and somehow there was a fight over a crystal and nobody could get it, it ends in a tie. If the score is the same, 2-2, 1-1, ends in a tie. Whoever reaches 3 first wins that event. So it's pretty straightforward. It's not that hard. Next one that you have to basically look at is going to be, Arena. I know it's here somewhere. Yeah, we get rid of you. So Arena is the third event, And the arena basically takes the 5 players on each team with the highest kill streak, and it puts them. They become paragons. You basically get a buff in size. You can't see it because all the paragons are exactly the same size, so they don't look bigger. You get faster regeneration in your heal. You do more damage. You're a little bit faster also when you're a paragon. And the idea of it is there's 3 variations of the match. One removes all primal energy and gives you full heavy ammo. One removes all heavy ammo and gives you full primal energy. And then the other one removes all of it, heavy ammo and primal energy. You have none of it. So those are the 3 variations to it, and it's a 90-second round. It literally is 90 seconds. It can end in a tie if you both don't kill each other. So each side goes back with 1 paragon, or whoever can like kill all 5 of the other paragons on the other team wins. Another way you can win is if one guy is managing to survive and you have like 2 people and there's one of them, whoever has the highest amount of paragons also will win. So those are the ways you win Paragon Arena. Killing everybody is the easiest way. Neat thing is every time you kill a paragon, your team gets around 250 points. You personally get 50. If you help kill a paragon, you get 20. So the whole idea of the game too is because they said they had called this the original rank mode, where they gave you points and they gave you titles and you were moving up. But the whole idea with it when you were playing it is the only 3 people who get really good stuff is the people who have the top 3 highest score in the game. If you had gold, silver, and bronze, and not the highest score by scoring, the highest score per minute. So if you come in late into the game and you run like 10 shards and there's like 5 minutes left, you probably has the highest score per minute easily. You're gold, because running 10 shards gives you 200 points, and you can do that in less than a minute. So you literally just jump your score per minute. If you're killing things along the way, your score per minute could be like 250 in the first minute when you started. And then if you're still killing stuff and you're running around and you're taking out high objectives, you can keep your score really high, especially if you come in late. So that's the concept of like the game with that. And then they do the last one. It's what's so funny is back in the day, it used to be Wild Moon, Arena, Wild Surge, FlashPoint. Now it's Wild Surge, Wild Moon, Arena, FlashPoint, and then you go straight to Final Harvest. And the old one, these events would keep looping until you either were beating the opposing team by 10,000 points, or you reached 28,000 points. And then the whole idea was you would hold the outpost to drain the resources from the opposing team. You're pushing their score down to 0. I'm telling you, that mechanic of draining score versus your score going up is a better comeback mechanic than anything that they can come up with. It's just more effective because it's the only comeback mechanic that even if the opposing team score is going up, if I'm holding the outpost, it's still draining down, and my score isn't going one way or the other. My score can only go up, it can't go down. Their score, even if it goes up, it's still going down. It was one of the only ways in the game where you consistently had the ability to stay evenly matched even if your score was low, as long as you were controlling outposts. I lost the game when I was leading by 15,000 points. I had 31,000. The opposing team had like 15 or 16,000. I lost that game because I lights out got crushed in the outpost control. I was playing 2 or 3 other guys. Our teams were even. It's just the opposing team knew how to play Final Harvest better than my teammates. I understood it. My teammates didn't so much. So we got crushed. Like, I mean, we never had 4 points at all. So my score just drained super fast, and they ended from 15,000 with 25,000 to my 0. It it's when they came up with it, we're like, it's interesting, but when we've been playing it for so many patches, and they changed it on 0.15.1, that's when the big change happened, right? It's weird. Nobody was like, oh, this is better. And the reason is I don't see anything like it in any game else that I played. And the concept is, it's such a strong mechanic, and the final harvest literally is pure outpost control. That's what wins you final harvest. That event is about controlling outposts and nothing else. This new version is not true. It's just about scoring points. I only control outposts to score points. I can run a bunch of shards to score points. There's no way for me to stop you from beating me any other way, even if I control all the outposts, because it's all about points going up instead of me draining them. So it's a way to do it, but they keep saying, nah, I think we're gonna keep it that way. They keep claiming it's confusing. It's not confusing. The problem with it is they don't explain it. They don't explain it at all. And then they expect players to come in from after playing Slayer, Hydra, and Coliseum and have an understanding on how to play a game mode that has so many variations and complexities as this. Even one person who came in who plays Eventide all the time, he's like, and he in 3 months he pushed himself to level 90, right? And he's like, yeah, I don't think Eventide should be played by people just starting out. He's correct. It shouldn't. It's complex. I watched a video that completely explained the game mode, and it took me a whole day later to get comfortable with the map to understand how to play it to win. The map is huge. Any MOBA that you know, it's like 4 MOBA maps put together to make this one map. Like Vainglory, League's Legend, all of them, 4 or 5 of their maps have to be smashed together to make this one Eventide map. Once you start playing it, it seems tiny, but when you first start, nah, man, this is like, holy crap, there's so many places to go. Once you understand the flow of it and you know where the roads lead, there's actually roads on this map that if you run along them, they'll take you to specific locations. And if you're not sure where you're going, just follow the path. One path will lead you to the overseer of the opposing team. Specifically on the west side of the map, there's a bunch of paths that if you run along them, they're broken and they're dilapidated. Like there's dust on them and whatever. But if you follow the path, it runs from one section to another, clear as day. So it's pretty damn amazing. Specifically here, you can see it. There's the paths right there. They're cut into the ground. There are paths built into this map. There are paths here. If you follow them, they'll take you to specific locations. That's how big this damn map is. That's how big it is. But this section is a full MOBA map. That section is a full MOBA map. This section is a MOBA map on its own, and that could be a MOBA map. It's that big. Arena happens on its own island up here. This is where you fight in the arena. You don't even fight it on the main one. You fight it here. And then the last event that we have nowadays is FlashPoint. Same concept as Arena, but instead of it happening only on an island to the side, FlashPoint happens in the center fortress. And all your teammates and everybody can get involved in FlashPoint. And whenever you kill a Paragon, Paragon buffs don't disappear. They hop into the person or the creature or the mob that killed it. So if you were watching the last game I was playing, the Overseer killed me. I had my Paragon buff. When I killed the Overseer, I got it back. If a hunter kills you, it takes the buff. You kill it, you'll get it back. If one of the Imperial Guardians kill you, or a Guardian kill you, or whatever, when you kill it, the buff pops back out of it if you had the buff when they killed you. So it's a pretty neat thing. And Flashpoint, same concept. I believe it's a 3-minute round. And the idea is you're trying to kill the 5 paragons, but the rule is the paragons have to stay within the central fortress area. So I'll just show you the endpoints of it. Again, if that's not explained, it was explained in the video, but again, everybody who's coming in cold don't know this. So here are the points that you have to stay on. You see right here on the bridge, if you go onto here, you're out of bounds. If you go onto here, if you see that little red line here, you pass that red line and go over the bridge, you're out of bounds. You see all the little red lines out here? If you pass this one or that one over here, you're out of bounds. Up here, if you pass the one that's on the floor over here, you're out of bounds again. So you're stuck within that area. If you move out of it, you have like 5 to 10 seconds to get back in. I believe it's 10 seconds. You have 10 seconds to get back in. If not, it revokes it, and it's like you just lost. We lost one of the paragons during Paragon Arena. One of the funniest things you'll see when people don't know how to play the mode, they'll be fighting. They'll take a jump pad and jump out and thinking they get to safety. And since you know what you're doing, you don't chase them, and you wait and you watch their what do you call it, Paragon status get revoked, and you win. The other one that will happen is sometimes a person will have the Paragon and then they're fighting an overseer, or they're trying to take something out, and they're so busy doing that, you literally can have like 3 or 4 people lose their Paragon stuff at once. They'll be fighting core behemoths or overseers, and they just all lose it at once, and again, you win. But yeah, it's one of the coolest events in the game. The events are fun enough that almost every event in this game could be a little mini game on its own, and it would be fun to play. And the idea is, if they did like tutorials, like a small tutorial where you have like 1 or 2 paragons left, where you have 2 or 3 paragons to play Flashpoint, to play Arena or stuff like that, then people can at least get an understanding of how it works. And it doesn't have to be long. You just say like, okay, now we're in Paragon Arenas. There's 2 paragons on each team. You've worked it, whatever, and you have 30 seconds to, or you have 60 seconds to see if you can wipe them out, right? That at least they'll understand what they're doing. And then you explain to them Paragon Arenas can start as 1 to 3. Do it with the in-game engine, because if it's done on the in-game engine, you don't have to spend time on videos. Just create a tutorial version like you have in the tutorial, like you have for every one of the rotating queues, that explains each of the events on their last win states or their close to win states. And that's it. And then the person will understand what it is. When you show them about Central Fortress in Flashpoint, I think just logically they should actually make the things glow at the edges, so you have the boundary is literally seen really well, like it's glowing, like there's a glowing line around the edge. Like if it's controlled by red, it's like a red glowing line. If the arena is controlled by blue, it's a blue glowing line. But it marks out the whole area for Flashpoint. It would make it so much easier, and it would be visually fast for somebody to say, oh, I don't want to step over that line. Oh, I stepped over the line, let me get back in. So it's simple stuff like that that would make it easier to play. Same concept. You go into like an final harvest, and you explain, okay, right now you have, what do you call it, 3 outposts, but you need to capture the center to give you 5, what do you call it, points. Capture the center and hold it for the next, like, what do you call it, 10 seconds, and win the game. Like, I mean, that's pretty much it. They don't have to be super long scenarios. They don't have to be 30-second long things. They could be done in 10 to 15 seconds or even 30-second stuff. You jack up their strength so you know they're going to win, and everything they're fighting is going to die to their guns, but they'll be holding the positions and they'll be understanding what needs to happen. That's all that's missing. Then that means if you want to just make the comeback mechanic draining, as long as you explain to people that's how it works, who's gonna have a problem with like making zeroing out the other person's score? I won't. I won one game with 250 left. That was freaking amazing. We literally were getting crushed. The other team had I think 5,000. We got control with 250 points left and were able to hold them and bring them all the way down, and we never lost a bit of our 250. Or we scored something and we got control and they were close, we were close, and we took it and we won 250. That's freaking super amazing. I don't know why anybody would feel bad. Oh, my score is so low. That's not what we care about. We care about the win. And the exciting way that win was, you don't get that feel. I've had one close one close Eventide game since this patch came out, and I believe it was maybe around 700 or 800 points difference. We beat them 35,000 to 400 and something, 34,000 something. It's rare. The old Eventide, man, it was common. The old Eventide, if I understand it and you don't, I can play 3 or 4 new people on my own. Easy. If I understand the pattern, the outpost, and you don't understand it, easily I can beat you. I used to beat 2 people by myself. It was hard when I had to play 4 people by myself, 5 people by myself, which has happened. All they just do is they all focus you. Like, you'll get mad and you kill all 5 people, but that's pretty much the extent of what you'll be able to do in the game, because it will be double teaming you, triple teaming you, double primaling you, triple primaling you, the whole game. And if you're playing with a bunch of stupid bots, which will shock you, you're playing a 1v4 or 1v5 and your bots are still dumb as rocks. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen, and their bots still play better than yours. Crazy. But that's how the game goes. But yeah, like, I gave you the rundown on the events, and I gave you the rundown on the strategy for the outpost. But yeah, that's pretty much Eventide in a nutshell. And then the other thing that they don't seem to want to give you a tutorial on is the teleporters. So here's how the teleporters work. So once you capture the outpost, so this is how you capture the center outpost. This is where you capture the upper eastern outpost. This is where you capture the lower eastern outpost. This is where you capture the lower western outpost. This is where you capture the upper western outpost. And then this is what we call the top center, or the northern center outpost. This is probably the second best strategic position in the game besides the center, because it can reach 4 outposts easily from its spot. Where if you're playing the center, you also can reach 3 other outposts. And what did this draw on here? Did that off? Yo, don't mess with me. I'm gonna lock that. I'll put it on here. Yeah, I don't want that drawn on. It's when I first started playing Eventide, I used to love this position, to the point where people are like, "Oh, you get that first and you everything." It's a good position because there's a lot of ammo up here, and it gets you close to the center, and it gets you close to the top east and the top west. So it's a good position. Do you need it? No. It's the same way you don't need the center. Is it nice to have? Yeah, it's great. it's fantastic. It's a fantastic thing to have. But the way it is, after you capture those outposts on these platforms right here, you'll notice right under them, there's this big blue shiny pad. Over here, you'll see there's this actually has no, Oh, there it is. There's this pad over here. For this one, the pad is hidden right over here. And then you have these default giant teleportation pads on the eastern side and on the western side. So after you control an area, like if it's blue for you, then when you stand on here, you tap the Minimap on the screen, it will open up any other blue disc that you see there. The one you're on is going to be white. You tap to them, automatically teleport. You can teleport as a primal, you can teleport as a human. The only thing you can't teleport is with shards. If you have shards on you, or there's a shard on the platform, teleportation won't work. That's it. But that's how teleportation works. You control the outpost, stand on one of these circles. There's one over here, and there's one over here. You stand on one of these circles, tap the map, pick another one of the blues, you teleport instantaneously. Like people who've been playing the game a lot, you'll see them stand on the map and then you see ting, they'll disappear in a line points to the direction that they went. Like there's a their teleportation, you get to see kind of the direction which teleport pad they went to. You can actually see the line. If it's going to the one on top, if you were teleporting from here, you see like a line, a green line go in that direction. If they teleport down this way, you see a green line go that way. So there's two pads on that angle that they could be going down to. But yeah, those are the most important things that for some reason they don't ever explain. Like even in the original tutorial, Dell's like, can you help capture this teleport pad for me? That's great. But in reality, what you were capturing was an outpost because there's no way to capture a teleport pad. It would be cool if I could teleport from the outpost, but you cannot. You only can teleport from the pad. That's just the fact. But that's the other thing that they don't ever tell you in the game, which is very, very weird. But yeah, that's pretty much Eventide in a nutshell. Win as many events as you can, run as many shards as you can, kill as many people as you can, and at the end when you're playing Final Harvest, try to hold 4 more outposts to increase your chance of winning by a lot. Especially if you're leading, you have to. If you're behind, you also have to, because you have to prevent the opponent's score from going up multiple ways. If they're running crystals and they're killing people, great. But once the crystals run out and once you enter Final Harvest, most other ways to score disappear. They don't exist anymore. The only way to score is killing an overseer, killing a core behemoth, running crystals, and the crystals stop after the core behemoth is killed because it drops crystals. Once you push those in, no more crystals to be had, and basically holding outposts becomes the only thing. Killing people don't work. Killing the mobs all disappear. All you got is just taking outposts and holding them. That's it. You'll get personal score for it, but only holding the outpost is actually bringing your score up. But yeah, I mean, this is the best version of the new Eventide, but it's still not as good as the original version of Eventide. It's the best version of the new version of Eventide. It's the best version so far, but the original one still blows it away. The original Eventide is still better in strategic and just fun. And the thing I understand what they're trying to do is they don't want to have the game modes too long. I get it, but you call this war mode, and everyone was expecting somewhere between 25 to 30-minute matches anyway, and we're comfortable with them. It's just it's a very demanding mode. That's why it makes no sense for this super demanding mode to be sitting in the front and nobody knows how to freaking play it with no instructions and no tutorials and no nothing. One person said that they think they should make tutorials for Hydra. You can, but Hydra is not really that complex compared to to what do you call it? It's not super complex compared to um Eventide. Like if you take somebody and say follow me, and then you walk them through the 3 win states of Hydra, it's pretty easy. Like right now, killing the Overseer and Hydra ain't that hard. You just tell them, okay, here's how we're gonna kill it. We have to destroy these 2 shield generators. Then we hit it. Then we got to back away because the shield generators can come back. They're gonna be invincible for a little bit. Kill these things that are in front of us. Get some ammo. Kill the shield generators again. Hit it. You have to only do it 3 times. Once you're done, hey, guess what? You win. You show them how to run the shards, and you show them how to basically kill everybody on the screen 3 times. That's the old. It's not complex. And like somebody said, it's interesting. Long matches in Hydra are like 7 minutes. There's no time limit in the game, but long matches in Hydra tend to be like 7 minutes. Short matches in Hydra tends to be somewhere between 3 to 4 minutes. And I don't know how that works, but it literally is between somewhere between 3 to 8 minutes long max. And I don't know. It can go long. Like if people are dodging, like you have 2 paragons and people are primaling, but yet the paragons are somehow surviving. There is no timer in that match. It's pretty interesting. These goals that they just added, they should put them under score, because having the goals appear and drop down on top of the map is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Super bizarre. Each one represents something. First one is Wild Surge. Second one is the Wild Moon. Third one is the Arena. And the fourth one is the FlashPoint. And then final Harvest. So that's how that basically works out. So all I can say with the goals is they should definitely move them over and put it under score, because score doesn't really have anything there, and when you open it, it doesn't block one of the most important assets on the game screen, the map. Like if you need to teleport, you can't teleport with this thing in the way. Like there's so many things that it blocks that it doesn't make sense for it to be a thing there. It should be under score, because score doesn't pull down. Score will bring you to a whole other screen. So goals should be right under it. What do you mean? Question mark. If you haven't seen that there's a whole goals thing sitting in the you haven't seen that there's a goals thing sitting in Eventide when you're playing? Let me demonstrate again. It's sitting right there. It's super annoying.